Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. I'm going to be going over pretty much all the ins and outs of pumping. For this video I'll be using the advanced pumping, so we'll be turning easy pumping off, which is on by default. Start everything off, we're just going to first just do a one engine supply, and then we'll start a second engine supply and boost the hydrant's pressure, and then we'll supply the ladder. Um, Also something to note, some of the new post options I added, one of them is max all pressure in the fire hydrants as well as fill the trucks. So, the purpose of that is if you go on the world map, it'll turn all the hydrants either from dead to blue or from red, yellow, green, or whatever to blue. So anyway, let's get started. So this is going to be our first engine. For the purpose of this video, I'm using squad 2. So we'll go on the pump panel. We're going to turn off easy pumping. We're going to connections. We're going to grab our driver intake and connect the hose. So talking about the connections, all your small discharges are going to be hand lines, and all your large discharges are going to be what you use to supply the trucks back and forth. Your intakes is bringing water in, and your discharges is sending water out. So we're going to go into our tools, the hydrant wrench, and we'll go ahead and open the hydrant. So while it's set up correctly, this will still not get us water yet. So we'll go into our pump panel and we'll talk about some of these options. So tank fill, which you primarily want to use for bringing in water. Okay. For bringing in water, we're getting 920 because it's a blue hydrant. So if you're just using a hydrant, you don't want any of your pump water for whatever reason, you're pretty much set. This is how much you're bringing in, and you can put out as much as you're bringing in. If you go over, your pump will start overheating. So if I open up the second discharge here, you can see we're starting to overheat. So the way these discharges work is every time you crack it open, it puts out a percentage of your intake value. And that's with your tank fill. So I know it may sound confusing. I'll kind of like bridge everything together towards the end. But so we'll close our tank fill first, so I can show you the normal pumping. Alright, so tank to pump, basically what this does is all the water in your pump, all the water in your tank, it brings it to the pump, the game. There we go. So now, every percentage you open, every increment takes a percentage of this. So let's say we want to get to 120. So if this is open all the way, you get 120. You open this halfway, we can split values between discharges. So we know that for our hand lines in the game, you need about 120 to I think a 180 in between there. And for deck guns and ladder pipes and towers, you need 100. So if we wanted to get to 120 in both of these, go ahead and idle up. Got 240. So it's split. So if you wanted, say, that, you'd have to increase to another line, but you would also have to drop it down. If not, you're going over. Your pump will start overheating. So there's a lot of, it's not really so much math, but before you start opening more discharges when you're already set, you want to start idling up your pressure first. to kind of what your goal is. So we'll go to 360 here. I don't know what this truck's max is. It's 400. So ideally, you can flow pretty much 3 lines off of this. So and as you can see, we're still. So it's just something that kind of you got to mess with. So we'll do 108 and increase the rest of the way. There we go. So it's kind of something you just got to tinker with, but each one can open up to an increment of a tenth. And just by putting pressure on these lines, you won't lose any water until people start flowing. So this one doesn't have a deck gun, so we'll do that. The other engine. So that's your tank to pump. So here's also the thing. So how it works. Yeah. So if you have your tank to pump and your tank fill open, you can regulate your pressure still. So what I'll show you with that is tank to pump's open. We'll go back down the idle. So we'll go to 120. But we'll close our tank to pump real quick. So let's say we open this all the way. Obviously 92001 line is way too much. So you can keep your tank to pump open. It'll actually regulate and it'll never go higher than this. So you can kind of do this, and then this is pretty much the easiest way to do it. Once again, you can't put more out than you're bringing in, or you'll start overheating. In real life, it would be called pump cavitation, and your hose would start sucking, and it's not good. So just remember, like, tank to pump is kind of like the regular, so we can actually keep. Let's say they want more pressure for whatever reason. So we can give each line 230 across before. Yeah, and then as you can see, we started to overheat. Now you're overheating because it'll start blinking. Basically, what happens if your pump overheats, it forces all of them back down to idle, I believe. We'll let it overheat just to show. So therefore, all the lines, because the pump overheated, it forced it back down to idle, and everybody just lost their water. So just something to keep in mind. But just remember, your tank fill is your regulator, pretty much, for what pressure, like a safety. So if like that engine supplying this engine, for whatever reason, they start sending you more water, it doesn't boost the pressure of all your lines, and whoever's on it can no longer move or loses water if they give them too less or something little. Um, so we'll run through that one more time. Go back down to idle, close our lines, see the difference. All right, for tank fill. All right, close the tank to pump. All right, so first step, your tank to pump to get things started before you connect to your hydrant. Every time you open it, it does it in increments of pretty much percentage, like 1/10. Say you have 1/10 of 50. As you can see, we're putting out 12 now. If you open it all the way to 100%, you have 120, 100. You want 2 lines open, then you have to pretty much split it, then increase it to 2, so on and so forth. That is the basic tank to pump. Go back down to idle, close these. Alright, with your tank to pump closed, So the safety's pretty much off. You open up your tank fill all the way. They have 920. Open that all the way, we're getting 920 on our lines. Pretty much instantly overheating. You open up more than one line, you don't want to. Open up my tank to pump, fixes it. I can set it to just 120. I have 120 across all of them. We'll get into the primer sort of later. We'll go draft and do stuff for that. Alright, so that's taken care of. So we're going to go back down to idle. And we're going to boost this hydrant. Let's say we got a hydrant with really low pressure. I think it's red or yellow in this game. So we'll go ahead and also put our tank to pump and our tank to. Alright. So this can be a little tricky to set up, but once it's set up, it works fine. So, gotta shut off our hydrant for doing this. Never mind. Alright. And we'll put this back. So anyway, we'll go into our tools. Should have something in here called a pressure booster. So first off, just a quick tip. If you were to lay out the truck, if you press J, it auto lays out and it'll auto set this up for you. So the next truck doesn't even have to do anything. But I'm going to show you how to do scratch. Alright. We're going to go down to our pressure booster. Connect it. So here's the important part on the setup. So whatever truck that you want to send the water to, the boosted pressure water, you want to connect first. Come up here. Okay, scratch that. You connect it last. So we'll send the water to that engine then. Alright. And then the last part of the setup is grabbing your large discharge, connecting it as well. Alright. So the way this is going to work is the hydrant's going to open, the one right there, and straight out, the initial water is going to go into. Let's say it's only 120. So you open your tank fill all the way, and then you open this discharge all the way, and it'll be like 120 through here, and then it'll boost it to an additional 120, so 240. It shoots it out this hole for this one. And we'll get 240. For this one, we're going to get like 1800 something. So we'll go ahead and charge our hydrant. We're going to open up our tank fill. And the best way to do this is to just open up your tank fill and open up that discharge. Get that open up all the way. Alright. So, as you can see, we have 920 coming in and 920 going out. Then, once we open our tank fill over here, turn off easy pumping. As you can see, we got double that. We got 920 times 2 coming through. So this allows you to maximize a hydrant per game standards. A little weird setting up. It's a lot easier when you lay in. You press J and then assign your first truck to that. Otherwise, I guess you got to hook that truck up last. So just remember, it's pretty much just forming a loop. It goes in, comes out, and it goes right through. You just double your pressure. The important part to also notice is, so if you don't open your tank fill all the way, it's only going to double what you're putting out. I guess it just doubles the whole hydrant. Alright, cool. So that's pretty much the pressure booster. We'll talk about porta ponds as well. Set this bad boy up. So the purpose of this is if you're in a rural area, a tanker can come and drop off water in this bin and go and fill up again while the trucks use this. So we'll go ahead and set that up. We'll grab a discharge off of here, discharge 5, 400 brown, discharge hose, home panel, discharge 5. So she's filling up. She's full. We don't have another engine here, but we can actually use the same engine. So I think how I want to. So close our tank fill for a second. Close discharge 5. I'm gonna open up our tank to pump. Let's throttle it. So we'll go ahead and drain our pump real quick. And take our connection, our driver intake, put it over here. So their deck going for a while, huh? Alright, so we got that home panel, luge, close that. Alright. So let me just reset everything. And set up our intake again. We'll open our tank fill. We'll start drawing in water from that pond. Then as the water's used, it'll start, you'll actually see the pond water start draining. The other thing I mentioned as well is that um, with like the deluges and like ladder pipes, you only have to send 100 to them. If you're sending more, you're pretty much wasting water. Also, E gets rid of ours if you guys didn't. Um, so, as you can see, it's draining, and once it's out, it's out. Um, so I still have full tank. We're gonna shut down this. We'll supply the ladder truck. The ladder truck needs 100 to, I believe it's 100 for its ladder pipe to water. Get a discharge. Um, that's all there is to this. Um, we'll go over drafting as well now. I don't think there's really much more pumping stuff. Actually, yeah, we'll go over standpipes as well because people were having trouble with those. Um, so, uh, we'll take the squid drafting real quick. I'm gonna adjust the speed on this thing too. It's a little slow as well. The steering's a little weird. So we're gonna drive this right down to the water. Any water source in the game, I believe you can draft on. Whether it's a pond, a lake, or like a ditch, if there's water in it. Go right to the edge. Um, close. Pumps closed. Back down the idle. For this to work, all your discharges needs to be completely closed. Right. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab our driver intake. Drop it. Any intake, you just go to water, press E. At this point, what we're going to do is you want to go to max throttle, your primer, and you're going to hold it open. If you let go, you're going to lose all the progress you made. It'll go all the way back down. So you just hold it open, button held. You get the water in, a little green light will come on the UI. Almost. Just need to open discharge. That's locked in now. You can open up our tank fill. Close your discharge. So we got 400 coming in. Whatever the truck's max throttle is how much water you can effectively draft. I believe the tankers have like a 2,000 max throttle or something like that. So you can bring in a lot of water pretty quick. So next we will go over standpipes and high rises. Idle. Those are tank. Should be a stand by the two. Alright, so how these work, I actually haven't ever been in this building yet. The other developer made that Falcons. Give us a try. So hook your large discharge up to the FTC. I believe they need at least 120. Out of the way. Then whatever. Max. And I will overheat. That's good. And then what we'll do is grab and take this hydrant. Hydrant wrench. Pump panel, I think all the way. As you can see, this must yeah, this is a bad hydrant. So we're putting out more. So we'll go to idle. We'll match it. From here, you want to grab your hose bundle. Like I said, I haven't been here in a time. Alright, so we got this. Just need to connect to standpipe, and we have water. That's all it is. Need to go up another floor, you can disconnect. Connect. Pop it. Pop it. That's all it is to it. For the quints in the game, the ladders with pumps. On one of those that were for these, there's a deluge, and same concept. Open at 120. You only need like 100 to get it working, but that's it. If you guys have any more pumping questions, suggestions, or anything, leave them in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and there'll be more tutorial videos coming out soon.